I know. I said I was gonna make a video on Wednesday, but Thursday though. So some big changes have been made to enemies and allies. I have deleted the ally object and consolidated enemies and allies into a single object called O-entity. Because like they were always functionally pretty much the same. Like the only difference is like who they attack. And now like their behavior is like decided by what team they're created to be on. Whether it be friendly, which is on your team, enemy, which is not on your team, or neutral, which means they can attack whoever. And when the enemy or the entity is created, they like if they're on the enemy team, then their stats are affected by the enemy level, and if they're on the friendly team, then their stats are affected by their respective ally item if they have one, and the player level. As a result of me consolidating the enemy and ally objects into one, Will-o'-the-Wisp actually works now. Oh, okay, I fixed it. Okay, so, as I was saying, now that allies are in the entity object, Will-o'-the-Wisp actually works now. And I will never be able to tell you in a million years why she didn't work before. I was talking about like how she didn't work in the last video, and I did some more testing afterwards, like with switching around the AI behavior functions, and like so if I gave Willow the Wisp AI, then she still wouldn't work. But if I gave the Wisp Willow AI, then it would work. Which means it had nothing to do with the AI function. It was just like it was the ally object itself that just wasn't doing anything. But every other ally that used the ally object did work. So I don't know, it just wasn't working for no reason. But the point is, it's working now. You may have also noticed that the friendly entities have a green health bar. So like allies, because they're considered the same type of like object as enemies did, like their health bars are like dependent on their like rank. Like there are basic enemies, elites, and bosses. Allies created by common items are considered basic. Allies created by rare and cursed items are elites, and the legendary ones are bosses. We don't currently have any elites in the game, but if I make Willow into an elite, then she'll have the gold outline around her health bar, like elites are supposed to have. And if I make her a boss, then she just has a regular health bar, because only enemy bosses are supposed to, because like bosses are supposed to have like the big health bar at the top of the screen, but only enemy bosses do that. I also haven't coded the enemy boss health bars yet. Maybe we'll do that right now. So we'll do it in the director's draw event instead of the entity's draw event, because what I wanted to do is for every boss enemy, like boss ranked enemy in the arena, it'll create a separate health bar, and they'll like kind of shrink to like if there are more and more boss enemies, the health bars will like kind of shrink to fit, so they all fit on screen without taking up like a bunch of screen space. So I'll do variable enemies equals layer get all elements enemies, which should return all the elements within the enemy's layer. I'll do a for loop. So we're going to go through the whole array of enemies and find out which ones are bosses. Actually, no, we're going to make another array called boss enemies. Make it an empty array, and then So this for loop is just going to sort through all the enemies and pick out all the boss enemies. Oh wait, this should probably be in the draw GUI layer actually. So hold on. We'll put this in the HUD instead. Yeah, we'll do this. So it's here now. So I kind of want to. I feel like maybe I should limit the amount of boss health bars that can be on screen at once. Not that there's ever really going to be a bajillion bosses on screen at the same time, but you know, there might be. So we'll put X boss bars equals 5. And then we'll do okay, yeah. We'll end the loop early. So there are 5. There could be a maximum of 5 boss health bars on the screen at once. If there are less boss enemies than there are maximum boss health bars, then we'll just end the loop. Then I can more or less copy this code here, and then like just modify it a bit. And then so we make variable boss equals boss enemy number O, and then I think I can just change it here. Change all of O player references to boss, and then change like just the position of the health bar. Okay, so this position code should work, but it's crashing the game right now, and I'm not quite sure why. Okay, it's not crashing the game. Now all I need to do is change the rank and test it out. What happened? I put the wrong thing. That should be negative. You still can't see it. I've been doing some troubleshooting, and like I thought this was gonna be easy, but it can't seem to like find the enemy, or at least it's able to find the enemy, but like only kind of, and it can't put the enemy into the boss array if it's a boss. Oh, you know what? I figured it out. I make this mistake all the time. So instead of doing enemies I, we gotta do layer instance get instance to get the actual like enemy, because it's the same thing that like I did for the get nearest enemy position function. You gotta do layer instance get instance and then do enemies I. And now it should work. Okay, you still can't see the health bar, but it didn't crash the game. Okay, we got a health bar. It's not quite the size I wanted, but that's just because the numbers are wrong. That's not that hard of a fix. Okay, after switching up a couple of numbers, now the boss health bar looks like this. It's pretty cool. How about a little more? it did not spawn 2 wisps. Okay, it created 2 wisp health bars, but they're a little bit overlapped. Close. It's very close to working. I almost got it. Okay, I've spent too long working on this. It kind of doesn't really matter right now. But, I mean, it looks fine. I mean, that's fine. I mean, again, it doesn't matter right now. Whereas we got bus health bars now. So moving on. Any entity can be on any team. So like if I just spawned a goblin and made it friendly, then it wouldn't attack me, and it'll attack like entities that are on the enemy team. The only thing that for right now, the only thing this really matters for is the skeleton, because it can spawn as an enemy, or you can spawn it as an ally with the skeleton milkshake item. But who knows, maybe at some point they'll add an item that lets you convert an enemy to your team or something. New ally, Stormy the Wyvern. I think I was talking about Stormy in the last video, but I didn't actually do any code any of its data until now. Like I was saying in the last video, it's like a worm type enemy. It has multiple segments that all combine to make one enemy. This actually wasn't as hard to code as I thought it was going to be. So what I did is I had it in the create entity function. I have it return the entity that it creates. So when Stormy's head is created, it creates all the body segments and manually sets their target to the next body segment. So the first body targets the head, the second body targets the first body, and the tail targets the second body. And then in this code, they just follow each other, thus creating a ally that doesn't do anything. I gotta set this back to Stormy AI. There we go. She doesn't. Right now, she just kind of does that, and then dies. But yeah, the worm segment thing works. Obviously, the Devourer of God sprite is just a placeholder. I just had it lying around. So what's supposed to happen is when the head dies, it creates a chain reaction that destroys the rest of the body instances. But there was a bug that, because entities automatically retarget when their current target gets destroyed, it would the body segments would retarget to the nearest enemy, and they would follow that instead. So it just looked really funny. Am I gonna show you the bug? I guess you'll have to wait and see. So this is where the kind of funny part, funky part of the code comes, because at first I thought it was gonna be hard to implement, but it was actually kind of easy. So each of the body segments gets a unique variable that no other entity has, called owner, and it's set to the head segment. What I wanted to do is I wanted to make it so that only the head takes damage, and if one of the body segments gets hit, it transfers that damage to the head. So the head is the only actual ally that runs all the AI and code and stuff. The body segments are basically they're more or less cosmetic, and they kind of only serve to make the hitbox a lot bigger. So when a hitbox hits an enemy, it runs the hit enemy function. It's got the hitbox and the target, which is the enemy that gets hit, or entity I should say. So I put this if statement here. If the target entity has the owner variable, which again is unique to Stormy's body segments, then target equals target.owner, which is always the head segment. Now, I didn't know you could do this at first. I kind of didn't expect it to work, but apparently you can just make a function's parameter variable refer to something else if you wanted to, and it just worked. So if I make Stormy do nothing again, and I run the game, and I have the Wisp shoot, you can see the projectile is hitting the body segment that's sticking out here, and it's dealing damage to the head. And they all get destroyed at once. And it works fine. So this just works perfectly, and all I have to do is write the behavior code. Another pretty big change I made was to items. So all the item data was stored in an array, or stored in structs, and I made a constructor for items. So now it's a little more compact, a little easier to. I guess it's a little bit easier to read, not by that much, but. So how the constructor works? Yeah, there are five input parameters: name, special, rarity, description, and sprite. What it does, you input the name. The type equals the name converted to camel case. This function I made, what it does, takes the name as a string, replaces the first letter of the string with the lowercase of the first letter, then replaces all space with nothing, then replaces all dashes with nothing, and returns the string. What this does is just lowercase is the beginning, remove space, and this becomes the variable name that appears that I use in the code. The name is just the straight up name. This appears everywhere. This appears when it's used in game, in the shop, or when you're checking your items and stuff. Special is just whether or not it's a special item or not. And rarity is the rarity, the common, rare, cursed, legendary. Switch statement, switch in the rarity. If it's common, the price is 25 gold. If it's rare, the price is 50 gold. If it's cursed, the price is 50 gold. Legendary, the price is 100 gold. And anything else, the price is 0. Now, if the item is special, then it gets a new variable called sell price, which is set to the price of the item, and then the price is increased by 50%. The sell price remains the same, and then the price is rounded down, which only really matters for common items, because if you multiply 25 by 1.5, it gives you a decimal. And then another rarity switch statement. If it's common, the special cost is 1. If it's rare or cursed, the special cost is 2. And for anything else, the special cost is 3. I'm giving special items a bit of a rework. Not a bit of a rework, it's actually a pretty big rework. So what I wanted to do, with the idea behind special items is that every other item you can just get an unlimited number of stacks of them, you can stack them whatever. I wanted special items to have a really unique effect, but you can only get one of them. And I felt if you could just get every special item in the game, they're kind of not really that special. So I made it so that you have a limited number of special slots, and when you get a special item, you the special item's cost fills up those slots, and if you don't have enough slots for it, then you can't take the item. Kind of like the charms in Hollow Knight. This makes it so you gotta really think about what kind of special items you want in your build, because these are going to be really build defining items, or a bunch of those special items are getting reworked to kind of be more special, And also the arcane powers they're being turned into basic items. A lot of things are getting changed around because of this rework, but I think it's going to end up being pretty cool. And of course, description is description, and sprite is sprite. Sprite is set to best placeholder by default. So like, it's optional. You don't have to like put it here every time. The only item that actually uses the sprite parameter right now is skeleton milkshake, because it's the only one with a sprite currently. So I think that's mostly all I got for this video. A couple other things is some item reworks. Not that it matters, but just item reworks. Lucky arrow. Now instead of, well, it's been like this for a while, but now instead of firing a lucky arrow every 5 attacks, you gain one stack. You gain one buff stack of lucky arrow, and it replenishes, all your stacks replenish over 10 seconds, and it just fires whenever you attack, and it recharges every 10 seconds, and each stack of lucky arrow gives you an extra charge. For flame essence, getting another rework. Instead of increasing fire damage, it now damage from burn effects have a 20% chance to create 3 sparks that deal 100% total damage. So it deals the damage of of the fire DOT. And sparks have a chance to apply burn on hit. Burning enemies still explode, applying burn to nearby enemies. Storm essence getting a slight rework. It now deals 100% base damage plus 100 per stack, and the chain lightning deals 50% damage. Basically, it's now stackable. And that's about all I got. See, isn't Thursday much cooler?